Welcome, one and all, to another live stream of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew, and as always, joined by my partners in crime. We have Jeff on the side of the screen to me here. We have Dave opposite corner to me on the screen, and Bill in the last reigning box. As always, good to see you all, guys. Hopefully, we've all had a good week because we're about to have some fun with this one. Judged by the pre-chat we had before we go to this, we are going to be having a bit of an interesting one tonight, but we'll see how we go.
Did a drink run during the credits.
Well, there you go. That's a good.
That's why I'm breathing
I didn't
hard.
even see that because I was too busy copying and pasting all the bloody notes. So normally I get to see what people are doing behind the scenes. I missed that one, so thanks for the heads up there, Dave. This is a lot of fun. We've got a lot to get through, though, because this week is a season finale for King of the Riff. So for that, we have 2 rounds, which then will go into deciding our 3rd and final round for tonight, which will be where we crown the winner of the season. So tonight for us, it is Skärlet, self-titled, versus Beautiful Thin, the Unexpected. And then the next battle will be Tuomas Holopainen, The Life and Times of Scrooge, going up against Temple of the Dog, self-titled. For the audience, the 2 rounds are Skärlet, self-titled, going up against them Crooked Vultures, self-titled. And then the audience side on that battle is Lost Boys, Lost and Found, going up against Temple of the Dog, self-titled as well. We'll go through the results of all these and a whole lot more as we get through tonight's little streams. There's a lot to come up with. Dave has this week's Backyard Banger, which is Emergency Rule with their album from last year, The King of Ithaca. The Thin Lizzy album we're going to go through tonight is Black Rose. Bell has the control of something different. There we go. There's the first vinyl appearance tonight. Bell's going to give us something different tonight. I'm not sure what. We'll see David to get there first. And that's all the usual stuff. References to everything we're talking about and more in the description box of this one. So we'll put links in the comments as we go through live here. But if you're tuning in later on or miss something, you know where to find it that way. Jody says hello to everyone as always.
Hi, Jody.
And like last week, I'm going to just be tweaking the comments a little bit, but I'll let you know when I'm going to change things up as we go through in the comment reading section of things. Before we do get stuck into things, question of the day for the stream is, because it was International Women's Day the other day, list off some of your favorite women in rock and metal for us. That's just, some of the ones you want to give a shout out to. Get in the comments, shout out some women in rock and metal because fucking why not? Alrighty, let's get into... hang on, I've got some comments here. Kat's here. Good to see you, Kat. Good evening, all. Michael's here. Good evening, everybody. Good to see you as well. Same with Ed Crusher. Good to see you. PJR, good to see you again as well. Same with Michael and Nicole. Nicole, hopefully you made it through the storm last week.
How are you?
Yeah. Hopefully, Nicole, you're all good. So let us know that it wasn't as bad because it was funny up here. But anyway, everything was good. No problem at all. Anyway, moving on. Hot Rocks time. So the new songs that are currently in our Tastemakers playlist as nominated by those in Patreon. If you want to join in, follow the link to our Patreon page. New songs, we have Avalanche, Let There Be Rock, live from Airlie Beach. We have Binary Pulse in Pieces, nominated by Michael. Crown Shift, Black Velvet from Kat. Edge of Paradise, Give It To Me from another Michael. We have Ghost with Satanized, courtesy of Dave, of course. We have Heat, Bad Time for Love from Jolie. We have Her Last Sight with Die With A Smile from Vinny. Bell put forward Inglorious with their new song Testify. I put forward Verity with their new song Sirens. And finally, another top-up song is Midnight Alibi with Love Promoter. Those are the ones in Tastemakers this week. Then we get to the votes as always. So honorable mentions here. Ones that didn't quite make it into the top 10 this week, which is actually in our Hot Rocks playlist. You can find that link as well. So mentions go to Billy Idol with Still Dancing, a brand new song from the iconic artist there, and also Oni with Erase. Those 2 didn't quite make the final cut, which brings us into the top 10. Number 10 is Torrential Thrill with You May Be Right. Their cover of the Billy Joel classic there. That one came in number 10 this week. Number 9 is Legs Electric with Volcanic. It's in its 3rd week now on the show, on the playlist. Came in number 1, then number 5. This week it's number 9, so we'll see what happens next week with that one. Number 8 is Hypnagogia with Dead of Winter. That was nominated by Michael. Number 7 was Steve Welsh with his cover of Hurt, which is Alice in Chains version of the Nine Inch Nails classic. It's an interesting song. Kat put forward Pink Floyd Echoes Part 1, made it to number 6 this week, courtesy of the re-release of the Pompeii album. Number 5 this week is Fading Out, Asphyxia. This is now into its 3rd week. This one came in number 7 last week, and it's risen number 5. So it's actually going up and down, which is an interesting one there. Dave, your song for this week is Carmeria, The Hoping Heart. That was a top-up song, got to number 4 this week. Number 3 was assigned to me, another top-up song, which is Willie J's 6 Feet, Six's Love on the Loose. Then, Vinny, you put forward the second song for this week. Number 2 was Disturbed with I Will Not Break, which was assigned to Bell. And then number 1, which is the top-up song, was 1,000 Friends from Alien Weaponry, which, of course, goes to Jeff. So all those things said and done. We'll get to comments in a moment, but first cab off the rank is going to be Carmeria, The Hoping Heart. So coming out number 4 this week, this was from one of our favourite bands in New South Wales. They could do no wrong last year as far as we were concerned, and this comes from the stunning album Tragedy and More, also from last year. They just released a video for this one, which is why it, got into the 2025 edition of this one. So it's just going to be released in some way, shape, or form. So even though the album's old, the video clip is brand new, hence why it gets nominated. And this is really cool. So Dave, anyway, we know how much you love this band, but tell us all about it.
Oh, I was wondering why this song was in here because it is from last year, but now they just released a video. I did not know that, so I need to check this video out because they do good music videos.
Yep.
And I just realized I fucked up. So I should be wearing my Carmeria t-shirt tonight, but it's in the cupboard, so I'll wear it next week and make up for it.
69 Eyes is not a bad comparison, though, so not horrible.
Oh, fuck. 69 Eyes, Tour Australia, Carmeria can be main support.
That would be awesome.
That'd be fucking great.
Yeah,
and make that happen. Win Touch Lotto, I'll make it happen. Okay, I still remember when this album came out. Well, I heard it a month before everyone else did, so I was sitting on it. But yeah, that was ancient history now. This was a fantastic closing track to the album, and I immediately put the album on again, and again, and again, and again. I listened to it all day, and after listening to it countless times, this was one of the songs with the lyrics that just stuck with me. There's many, many great lyrics within this album, but this one, I don't know, for some reason, just sticks with me. The chorus itself, my heart lies open in its cage. Could you be the one I'm waiting for to free it from its chains? Just how can that not get stuck in your head? Instantly memorable, and if you're human, you're going to feel something like that. The song opens with the music that sets the mood, and I like how the lyrics in the opening verse just grab your attention from the start and pull you into the story. Jordan's got a great way of just embracing the words that he sings and making it real. I also like the shift in the energy between the intro and then it fills back for the start of the verse and it picks up again as the chorus goes along. There's one use in the song of a death growl or just hammering home the point. That's really it's just really well done with that part. Works well. Get a bit of a hymn vibe in some of the vocal delivery and the note choices. There's very much an influence there. There's a lot of symphonic metal bands around today, and Carmeria just has something special that makes them stick out from the pack. I put that down to the individual members and what they each bring to the composition of these songs. There's a nice contrast between the heavy guitars and the bright melody of the keys. It's kind of like the conflict between hope and despair, which is a bit of a theme for this song. What I like about metal and songwriting in particular is how I focus mostly on vocals and lyrics and guitars, solos in particular. So when a solo kind of picks up exactly where the lyrics leave off for the solo section, it's a perfect combination. Just like, yep, I'm in my happy space. And it just brings what you achieve with the vocals and the lyrics, the guitar picks it up and moves with it, takes it into a different dimension, continues the story towards the ending of the song. The solo itself, very melodic, goes for about 30 seconds, which for a 3.5-minute song is kind of long. And a lot of these short, radio-friendly, for lack of a better term, songs, the solo usually gets in and out within 10, 15 seconds, but this one's kind of extended for the time of the overall song. And, there's not a wasted second, not a wasted note. It's just perfect the way it is. Excellent song from an excellent band. I give it 10 shots. Okay, it's great.
Yeah. Of course, man. You have to, don't you? It's a fantastic song. All right, Bill, let's go to you next. Your thoughts, on that one, and then, just a shots rating.
A shot score, yep. Look, I agree. These guys just can't set a foot wrong. They just can't. Well, they haven't yet that I've heard. So this one, it's a fairly simple song by comparison with the other songs on this album, but it's no less engaging and enjoyable. My heart lies hoping in its cage. I agree, Dave, that Carmeria's lyrics are just, they're as vulnerable as it gets. And that's one of the reasons I love them. And yeah, bonus points for one of the best guitar solos that ever happened. Fucking amazing solo. I love it.
It's great.
Just perfect. Yeah, I give it 10 shots.
Nice. All right.
Nice.
All right, Jeff, you want to chime in?
Yep. Well, I've made no bones about my love for this band. Everything I've heard, I've absolutely fell in love with. And the song is no different. Obviously, it's just an obvious new video and everything. But yeah, it's just a great song from a great band. And yeah, how could I not? It was my album of the year. How could I not give it 10 shots? So absolutely, it deserves it. It's great.
Cool.
I'm getting deja vu. I think the last time we did a Carmeria song, we had 10, 10, 10, and then Andrew fucked it up. So I wonder if you're going to fuck it up again.
Don't fuck it up,
You gave it a
Andrew.
9. What's a 9?
Fuck. The thing is, with this song, just like every song on the album, this is a fucking gem. You can't not. And the video for the record, Dave, just for you and for anyone else who hasn't seen it, there's a link in the comments and the description box. It's footage from their homecoming show in Homebush.
Cool.
Combined with some behind the scenes performance like aspects to it. So it's a mix of performed and live footage, which is really cool. I don't know how much more praise we can heap on this band, honestly. We've thrown every superlative and they deserve every bit of it. So there's nothing wrong with it. But this song is a truly beautiful song. I think it's got a great hook, all the light and beauty you want, along with that bit of bite and growl that comes with these guys, what they do. I also love the fact they use footage, like I was saying, from the homecoming show in the video. I thought that was a really nice touch there. You don't get a lot of live footage from this band, so I think it's a really nice addition to the catalog of these guys. Honestly, we have raved about this band if you've been following us at all, and if you're for the first time watching tonight and you've never heard of this band, unfuck that right now because you're going to love it. The album Tragedy to More from the band Carmeria is one of the best going around. It was one of the best ones for all of us last year. It was a definite showstopper for us. So credit to Dave as always, because without Dave we would never have found this band. And
exactly
Dave deserves all the love in the world for bringing this one to us to make us all fans, and hopefully all of you fans out there as well. Dave, I'm going to fuck it up. 9 shots for me. Because
no soup for you. All right.
Yeah, well, no soup for me. All right, well, I'm on a diet anyway. No, I'm not. But
isn't that what you eat when you're on a diet?
I don't know. There's a whole thing about that too. But anyway, no, but it's simply because it's one of those things where you like to leave a little headroom, because I know there's one song in this one that does speak to me more than all the other ones. I give that one the perfect 10, and all these ones, like, we don't do the half. Otherwise, it'd be like 9.7, 9.9 fucking bullshit variants. It's just 9 or 10, so I'm just going to go with 9 to make it simple in that regard. But it's well deserving of everyone else's 10 points. So I'm not begrudging anyone's point of view there. It's just being me being picky as always. So there we go.
Yeah.
39 shots of a possible 40.
I'm very picky.
Good. Yeah.
It's a very good song, though. Don't get me wrong at all. It's one of the best ones of the year. Like, that album is special, so please do check it out if you haven't already. I know that everyone that has checked it out, that we've spoken to it behind the scenes in Discord and that, they've all fallen in love with it as well. So that's wonderful to see. Nicole chimed in before on the Cyclone stuff. All good. Hope you're okay. We're all good. I'm glad you got through all that as well. Jolie's here. Hi, all. Good to see you too. Victoria's here. Hi, all. Good to see you as well. Hopefully you're feeling better. And Guru's here too. Hello, rockers across the plane. Phil Lynott Army rules. Well, we're going to be adding to that one, hopefully. Terry's here. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. And Michael, you thought I was a Grinch. Michael's won 7 shots from me. I'm not the bad guy anymore. All right, there we go. I'm no longer the asshole. All righty, cool. Let's move on to the next song then while we go through this one. The next track is Willie J's 6v6's Love on the Loose. This is assigned to me, so I'm going to just keep rolling on here. Debut single from the Melbourne band. This one started out, like as I said it before, as a top-up song. Ended up coming number 3 this week. The video for this one is part of a collection of songs called Volume Dealer Live Sessions, though, which is on YouTube and Bandcamp if you want to check out more of that. This one was actually sent in to us recently by a promoter, which is how I even became aware of the band enough to put them into the playlist. And like I said, this is a debut, and they're off to a pretty good start so far doing the video stuff and then having a song like this come around. So assigned to me. Let's get into it. This is sort of no frills, blues-based, hard rock, but it has some seriously good swagger to it as far as I'm concerned. I love the use of feel and groove in this song in particular. The space left in the verse for the bass, I thought that was a really cool little touch there for a 3-piece band as well. But then when the chorus comes in, all that sort of changes and just kicks into a whole new gear, and I thought that was cool. It's instantly infectious. This would be so fun to see live, which is ironic considering there's a live video to go with this one. But I think it's one of those songs too that if you went to see this one live, or if you listen to it, it's just one of those ones that's going to get you moving. In some way, shape, or form, it's going to get you moving. That blues, that beat, that pulse, it's going to get under your skin and move you along. like I said, the video backs it up. Good little live vibe. These guys pack a punch for a 3-piece, as all 3-pieces do for some reason. We've been discussing it over the years, Dave and I in particular. 3-pieces just fucking seem to know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a nice sort of mid-song change in pace and energy as well. It's just a little bit of a slight prog touch element to before it launches into this absolutely fucking phenomenal solo. It's just over 3 minutes, this song. I think they packed one hell of a punch into it. I think there's a good hook in there as well. And it's one of those ones where it builds. It starts off a bit softer for that 3-minute duration, and then as it goes along, it finishes a lot heavier than where it starts. It was a nice touch. Bell's making a lot of noise on paper.
Sorry.
I knew I'd get that reaction when I did that. It's all good. They're not reinventing the wheel at all, but it's just a fun track to take in. I think it sounds great as well. It's a slightly stripped back song, which gives plenty of room for everything to sort of breathe and be a showcase. Definitely a band I'll be keeping an eye on. I think they've done a great start here with this song. If you're like me and you miss or really enjoy bands like Jackson Firebird, for example, Jackson Firebird gigging, but not sort of recording as far as I know yet. Those two bands would be great on a live show together, I reckon. That would be a great lineup. So if you miss bands like Jackson Firebird or like that sort of feel and vibe, check this out. 8 shots from me. Great start from this band. Looking forward to much, much more from these guys. Jeff, how'd you go?
Yeah, liked it as well. It had a groove, which I always like in a song. You know, it makes me want to grab my guitar. That's always a good sign for me, and it did that. So I just liked it. It had a good feel, and I liked the vocals. Actually, the vocals kind of reminded me a little bit of maybe like just kind of. Maybe it's just me, but a little bit of Miles Kennedy in there. Maybe just
a little bit. Yeah, I can hear that. Yep.
Yeah, and so, but I liked it. So, yeah, that's 8 shots from me as well.
Nice. Cool. All right. Dave, how'd you go?
Yeah, this was cool. I liked it. It's fun to just lay back and have some blues rock. I feel stupid because I had to Google what a 6v6 is. And when I found it, I was like, fucking call yourself a guitar player? Fucking hell, dude. But song itself, I give 8. Me, I give 1. What the hell?
So would you give this song?
The song gets 8. I get 1.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I'm like, what the fuck?
I was laughing at the same time. I was like, hang on, which way are we going? I heard you bag yourself, which, Dave, you're not a 1, but anyway, you're a 10 out of 10.
Nah.
I'm a 10.
There we go. There's the makeup for you, Dave, after Carmeria. Anyway, Belle, how'd you go with it?
What's not to like?
Yeah.
It was blues rock with bite done extremely well. So loved it. I gave it 8 shots.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah.
No, off to a good start for that band. Like I said, the debut, so good start as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah, Vinny's here. Good to see you. G'day, gang. Hope you're all fit and firing. We'll do my best to reference depending on when comments are read out. Yeah, make sure, please, people reference what song or whatever comment you want to leave. Give us a reference point because we'll touch back on things as time moves on. Michael says this song is ripping. 9 shots from Michael on the 6v6s, which is cool. Then Vinny says Carmeria and Willie J is a pair of 7s for me. Okay.
7, maybe?
I know it's meant to be 7s, but I'm not sure where Vinny's going. Yeah, Vinny. I don't know where Vinny's going to go in any moment, so we'll just see what happens next. As the night rolls on.
Vinny's having a good night.
Yeah, he's off to a good start. All right, so next up then is Disturbed with I Will Not Break. Which is the latest from Disturbed, obviously. This is the latest single from the American band. They're first on their own label, Mother Culture Records. This is the band's first new music since 2022, the album Divisive they released then. This song, I Will Not Break, is quote-unquote a necessary song about becoming stronger than the forces that constantly try to tear you down. That's according to the band. Nominated by Vinny, speaking of the devil here in the detail, this song made it to number 2 this week and was assigned to Belle. So without any further ado, over to you.
Every time I hear a Disturbed song, I always wonder why I don't listen to them more often. Because they're just really cool. And I always like what I hear. I think it was their first album that came out. And I was listening. I had it on like a burnt CD when it came out. And I used to just play it to death in the car. But yeah, I just sort of, that was it. And I've heard a song every now and then. And yeah, I don't know, just one of those bands that I know about, I know are good, I just don't kind of get to. But I don't know what this, sorry, did you say that this is off a forthcoming album?
Don't know yet. I believe it will be, but there's no
Okay.
official statement on that yet.
Because I was having a look just sort of briefly today, and I couldn't see anything. I saw some posts from like 2023 and last year saying that they're potentially bringing out an album at the end of this year, but that was...
There's nothing locked in stone yet. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. So this song is a groover. It's definitely one of the best I've heard from them in my limited experience with them. A few like industrial touches in the intro, which was cool, and the build of the intro was also cool. But for me, this band's strength lies in their rhythm section. The tightness between the rhythm guitar and the drums reminds me of someone, like the Abbott Brothers, but like just different vibe, but just so tight, just so in tune. So after so many years, I guess they've got that down really well. And they also have a unique singer whose solo vocal 100% contributes to the rhythm section as well. But then when he switches to a more melodic style of vocal, it's just effortless. So this song, for me, it was the best of both worlds. Chuggy verses and sing-along choruses. Cool guitar solo as well. It was great. It just had a sense of fun to it, I thought. It's almost like the guitarist was just mucking around. And that was just, that'll do.
Nothing complicated, but yeah, it does the job.
No, it was just fun. Another fun inclusion was Draymond's signature vocal sound effect, for want of a better term. You know, that thing that he does that like, like it's like he's trying to cough something else.
Okay.
Oh, man.
That's not as good as him.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway, I don't know what else to say about this song. But yeah, just try to sit still listening to it because it's a groover. It's great. Disturbed at their best. 9 shots from me.
Nice. Cool. I think we've done a pretty good... It is randomly drawn who gets assigned what song. I think we've done a good section this week, and everyone's sort of been pretty happy with their choices. But anyway, Jeff, your thoughts on Disturbed?
Yeah. This was... well, look, I have to preface kind of saying what Belle mentioned earlier, which was that obviously I know about Disturbed. I've been, they've been they're huge, really, but I've never been a massive fan of them, even though I kind of like them. It's weird, my relationship with Disturbed. And so, I listened to this song and I was actually pleasantly surprised that, like Belle said, the rhythm on this is it's bang in your face. It's really good. I really enjoyed that. What's his name? Draymond. What's his first name?
David Draymond. Yep.
David Draymond. Yeah, his vocals on this actually are a little bit better than what they normally are for me. I like the way he changed pitch with his voice. So it was just, it was, I really enjoyed it. So 8 shots for me, and nice. I'm not going to waffle on any longer. Yeah.
No, cool. All right. Dave, you?
Yeah, this is fucking awesome. Cool guitar riffs, cool guitar tone. Much like Belle, I was aware of the band when they came out 20 years ago, but never really paid all that much attention to them with subsequent releases. But when there was so many bands that were kind of same, but this band really stood out back in like early 2000s. Yeah. So they definitely got their sound, and this is exactly what you want from this band. But this song in particular is fucking great. And I do wonder as well, like Belle, why don't I listen to this band more? Because based off this song, I need to backtrack. Because there's been a bit of a 20-year gap there. But yeah, this gets 9 shots. It's fucking great.
Nice. Well, I am a big fan of this band. I've been following them since the start and have listened, I think, to everything pretty deeply apart from maybe the last album. And that's just because workload being this, I haven't been able to keep up to date with that as much as I would like. But this one, to me, feels like a big throwback to earlier Disturbed while also keeping the evolution of their sound intact over the years as well. So this is a good melting pot of everything they've done from beginning to now. That said, it's not anything out of the box from the band. If you have been listening to them for a while, if you like this song, you're going to like pretty much most of their catalog. Apart from maybe the odd track here or there from the early days, especially with like Asylum on, you're going to like anything that you hear here. I think this one, though, is one of those rare moments in time where a band tries to take you back to the glory days, quote unquote, and they actually succeed while still not leaving behind the growth they've done over the years. I think there's great energy, great riffs as always with these guys. Draymond is on fire vocally and lyrically. Basically, if you like anything from The Sickness, the debut album, all up to Asylum and beyond, you are going to be very, very happy with this one. This will hit the spot for you. So this is sort of trademark Disturbed in all the best ways possible. I enjoyed the shit of this one, but yeah, 8 shots from me as well. I gave this one a lot of love too. It's a lot of fun to listen to. If there's any indication of an album to come, bring it the fuck on. That'll be very, very cool. I'd be happy with that. Michael says, Disturbed, 8 shots. Love the guitar on this track in particular. Vinny says, felt very early Disturbed for me. Good early ungimmicky vibes. Get on. Cool. Jolie says, 8 shots for Disturbed. Michael says, talk of new albums. Not sure if anyone here has any interest in the band Sleep Token, but they have hinted at a new single or some announcement at 11 p.m. tonight. No, it may not be 100% rock, but they're still great to see live, and with multiple genres they put in their music makes for a unique experience. They are a unique band, and I think they've either announced or are going to announce tours as well. There's a lot of things like that. And PJ is replying to that. Sally says, hey, Andrew. Hey, Metal Peeps. Good to see you, Sally. Been a little while. Hopefully you've been keeping well. Hopefully everything is good in your world. Good to see you again. Vinny says, if Disturbed hold this sound, it'll be like taking an Amish girl to a romantic candlelight dinner and she feeling familiar about it. Okay.
That's over my head, I think. I don't know.
I get what he's going for, but I'm going to move us on to the number one song of the week, which is, and funnily enough, this is Alien Weaponry with 1,000 Friends. This is the second single from the New Zealand band's upcoming third album, Terra, or Terre, or how to pronounce it, which is coming out on March 28th. We've gone over this band numerous times in the past, especially with the last single, Malmoko. Just like that single, despite this one being a top-up song, this one also went to number 1, just like the previous single did. So it's 2 songs in a row going to number 1 for this band, which is pretty fucking remarkable. But yeah, this happens to be one of the, they do more songs in Maori than English, but this is one of the songs they do in English, which is cool. Jeff, it's all yours now, so take it away.
Yeah, so a few weeks back when we heard, maybe it was a month or so ago, when we heard that other song, that Mamoko, that song just ripped my face off. I just could not stop listening to it over and over and over and over again, as loud as possible without, I think someone said, I don't always listen to Alien Weaponry, but when I do, so do my neighbors. So, but that was kind of the vibe I was getting from it. I just had to listen to it over again. Now, this song, 1,000 Friends, it didn't grab me in the same way. I liked it. I thought it was a really good song. It's, and the lyrics, because obviously it's English. For this one, I was able to follow along with the lyrics, and I really liked the lyrics. The lyrics were very clever. 1,000 friends and you're still alone, that sort of thing. And so it's good, but it didn't grab me as much, even though I think it's still a fucking fantastic song. But the song, for some reason, reminded me of another band, and I was going like, who is this song reminding me of? And I was going through songs after songs after songs, trying to find. I can't find it. I don't know who. Maybe you guys. Maybe it reminds you of somebody. But I still liked it. But for me, instead of giving it as high because it just didn't grab me as much, I'm only going to give it 7 shots. But I still love it. That's still really good. So yeah.
All right, cool. Dave, what about you?
Yeah, that song's awesome. Killer guitar playing, lyrics are great. I love everything this band does. I remember when we first heard that first album a few years ago, just like, what the fuck is this? And they haven't disappointed since. So, 9 shots. Great song. Yep.
Cool. Belle?
Well, Jeff, you know who it reminds me of? Like 100%.
Yeah.
Kill Switch Engage.
Yes. I was looking at End of Heartache. I did that. Yes.
But
yes, like Cornelio.
That's yeah, that's the one. No, straight away, Kill Switch Engage vibes. If this had have come out, if I didn't know it was Alien Weaponry, and this song had have been released on Kill Switch Engage's new album, I just would have thought it was Kill Switch Engage.
Wow,
it was kind of,
but it probably would have been the best song on that Kill Switch Engage album because it's shit. So these guys are awesome.
There you go. That's
love it.
Yeah,
I'll give this 8 shots.
Nice, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. for me, we're only 2 songs into this album in terms of what's been released for us all to enjoy, and it's shaping up to be one fucking hell of an album coming up. This is cool. I love the lyrics, the message as well within that. These guys lyrically, whether it's in Maori or in English, everything is charged. There's a charge. There's an energy, a something about them that just makes you stand up and pay attention and think a bit more than you would with other bands. And this song is no different to me. Again, the 1,000 friends, but you're still alone. Like, and the video tying into the way social media is playing along. It is such a cool little thing. But this one has great riff, great groove, big hook. I love the subtle use of harmony in there as well. And I love the way they varied things from verse to verse with the tempo and the guitar and the drums. Like the way they changed the syncopation up was a cool trick, especially in verse 2. There's also the heavier elements. You got some screaming in there as well, which I think they work nicely to accent the parts of the song they come in for. And the way that switches between the heavy and the clean is just really well done too. I think these guys just keep going from strength to strength like Dave. I love everything they do. Bring on the album already. I can't wait for March 28th. So 9 shots from me. So I loved it a bit. So there we have it. You okay there, Belle? Is that funny glass? Yeah,
still? I just had something in my eye. I'm good.
Okay. Oh, it's an emotional moment, is it? Craig's here. Good to see you. Evening, everyone. Good to see you, man. And we got Jolie says 7 shots for Alien Weaponry. Craig says love the solo on I Will Not Break, 7 shots. So there we go. Mishka, good to see you, man. Just caught up. Thank you so much for the love, Hoping Heart. Been a blast filming it. Happy to share that 3 demos are coming together, and things are sounding enormous already.
Nice.
Yeah, I know you've been very happy with that one. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Mishka. Good to see you.
Cool.
Michael is here too, saying hi, boys and girls. Listening while we are working here in the kitchen. Good to see you, man.
Mate, we got to catch up, dude. We really do.
Jolie agrees with Belle. Michael says Alien every 8 shots.
Cool.
Craig says Alien sounds like massive Trivium fans. 7 shots too. All right. Vinny says Alien Weaponry, it's another banger. FYI, this coming week's Tastemaker is super, super hard to pick the top 3 strongest collective nominations this year. Wow, that's cool. Nice high praise from Vinny as well. And PJR says, well done for a 3-piece, 7 shots. And then Michael says, when they are in Maori, I wish the video clips had captions as an option. Well, I'm sure you can find translations, but it is, that extra step you don't want to go through. Alrighty, well, this is the part where everyone that wants to on the panel can take a break because I'm going to go through the Hard Rock happenings. So if you're going to get a drink, now's your window. Some news here to go through, as we do. After 25 years, Mastodon and Brent Hydes have decided to part ways. Everything Mastodon planned is continuing. Yeah, so they're still doing their shows. They've got an album on the way, all sorts of stuff is still happening. But they just recently did a show with Ben Eller, who is a YouTuber and session musician filling in on guitar. No word on if he's a permanent replacement, but they have obviously more news coming on that front as time permits. But yeah, that was just recently announced the other day, and so I figured I'd lead off this segment of Hard Rock happenings with that. Also, excuse me, while not our traditional wheelhouse, is one of those things that I do want to share to give a bit of awareness to. Hiatus Coyote, Aussie band, they just had a heap of their gear stolen out of what looks like they're either rehearsal or recording space. So there is a post on their social media pages if you want to help get the word out and keep an eye for it. Like they took guitars, recording gear, sound gear, like the whole fucking lot. So there's a lot to... Yeah, not the thing where someone left it in their cards. It's actually someone's gone into the space and just raided it. So, yeah, which is heartbreaking to think about. So, yeah, please, if you can, help spread the word, just like we're doing here as well. For a more fun tone change here, Spinal Tap's sequel is officially set for release. It is called Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. It will be coming out on September 12. So stay tuned for that one as all right, now some odd bits and pieces, but this will make some sense here. Poppy, not an artist we spend a lot of time on, but she's caused a bit of stir with her rendition of a song called The Cost of Giving Up, which she performed on Jimmy Kimmel Live, which is notable because you don't often get a slight little woman performing death growls live on Jimmy Kimmel. So that was something that was a bit different and has caused a bit of a stir. And on this vein, continuing the awareness of heavier acts getting some exposure in mainstream platforms, Parkway Drive recently did their version of the AFL theme song for Fox Footy, and at the same time Polaris did the same thing for the NRL as well. So good to see some Aussie heavy bands getting some love in that space as well. On that now there's before we get out of here, there's a few new singles out today and due tomorrow as well as some bit later on. So the Southern River Band, they have Fuck You, Pay Me, that came out today, or it's out now, sorry. Lung, released their new single, More to Liam. That's out now too as well. And coming out tomorrow, Fight the Sun have their new single, Against All Odds. Ablaze have their new single, Next Train Out. And then coming out on June the 16th, Ragdoll have a new single called Sky's Limit being teased as well. So those are all things coming up too. I believe that's correct. I better double check that one. But anyway, I think it is. But anyway, I'll work it out. If it's already out, then it's a year late, and I don't know why it got shown to me in my feed, but oh well, it is what it is. Anyway, on to the release list to keep things moving on. March 14th is the day tomorrow, and there's actually quite a good little release list to go through. I'm not going to go through all of them, just the hand-picked selections here. So we have Coheed and Carmeria with Vaxxus Act 3, The Father of Make Believe. That's coming out tomorrow. Dorothy with her new album, The Way, is out tomorrow. Envy of None for Jeff with Stygian Waves. That's out tomorrow as well. Red Fang have a compilation album called Deep Cuts coming out tomorrow. Ricky Warwick is getting his new album called Blood Ties. Those who know him from Black Star Riders, also Thin Lizzy. Ricky Warwick says his one coming out tomorrow. And then closing this out, Stephen Wilson of Porcupine Tree has his new album, The Overview, which I think is 2 tracks, each about 20 minutes long, sort of thing. So it's an interesting little album coming out tomorrow from Stephen Wilson. So there we go. That is the release list covered off. Now, as we go through things, folks, make sure you please leave a reference point for your comments because we're going to sort of start staggering things out as the rest of the show moves along. And on that note, Dave, you're back just in time. You've done that very, very well indeed, because we're going to throw to you now with the Backyard Banger segment of the show. This is Emergency Rule, the King of Ithaca. Your reference track is Garden in the comments and the description box. 8 tracks, 43 minutes. The debut after a run of singles from the Adelaide band, released February 2024 independently and with support from Wormhole Death. A few singles from this were released, including Garden and Corporation. This was a new discovery for us here at the show in 2024, and it was one that I definitely wanted to get around to last year, but as these things play out, we never have enough time to get to everything, and this is one of those ones that we didn't quite get to, so it's time to unfuck that, get to it this year. And with that said, Dave had the draw this week, so over to you with your thoughts on this album.
Yeah, I'm glad we unfucked this because this is fantastic. I've been feeling really old recently. There's a lot of change in style happening in the world of rock and metal, and a lot of it I don't like. And a lot of it makes me want to give up on music altogether. Then a band like this comes along and not only reminds me of everything I enjoy about music over the last 3 decades, but it makes me happy that there are young musicians still interested in this style and are still capable of writing new, interesting songs within the confines of what's been done, possibly to death over the last 3 decades. But they still make it interesting. They still make it theirs. They're not reinventing the wheel, and there's no need to do that. They're just simply writing awesome songs with lots of energy, diversity, and great hooks. Their Spotify bio says, Sabbath with attitude, down with swagger, and skin it with power. And I hear influences from all of those bands. Sabbath in particular. They wear the influences on their sleeve, but most importantly, they've made it their own. If you like those bands, you're sure to like this. Doesn't sound like they're recycling anything that's been done. It's not a clone of anything. It's plenty of fresh ideas within the style. I like the vocals. He's very much got a rock voice, and it's a bit deeper than most of what you get playing the style of music. It works really well, and it's refreshing from all the growling and all the alternative, the whiny little bitches that are singing rock. Like the
Yeah,
you've got the growling or the wimpy bitches. There's no fucking normal great sounding rock voices anymore. Lots of melody in this. There's lots of headbanging riffs. Cooking dinner with an open flame on the fucking stove is a bit dangerous.
Dangerous, yeah.
I had to grab my head, mate. Plenty of solos to please the guitar nerds. Interesting lyrics. Sung like a seasoned storyteller. When he sings, you kind of pay attention to it. As soon as he starts speaking and the lyrics, it's all there. Exactly what you need for this type. Composition of the songs is interesting. I won't go into every song. I'll just point out some highlights. But song From the Grave, it has its intro with the heavy chords and everything. It's all happening. And when it
love that one.
Slows, yeah, you're expecting it to go heavy like Sabbath used to do. But no, they kick in with this clean tone bluesy melody. Like that caught me off guard. Because you kind of get into a familiar happy place and then they shift it. They pull the rug underneath you and he's like, give you something new. Like, fuck yes. This is how it's done, people. You don't have to fuck around with so many different distractions. Just write good songs. A song called The Garden. There's a nice quiet moment, 3 quarters through that. And to use one of Andrew's common things he's been saying, peaks, troughs, and dynamics. This is what you need. Old school. Take a look.
I'll drink to that. Well
makes
played.
the song interesting. Simple little things like that. Something to say, fucking lyric, man. Great storyteller, and he delivers it with conviction. That makes a great fucking rock song. Ulysses, killer headbanging riff to close the album with. The intro to that song put me in mind of Pink Floyd. I didn't mention that as a reference, but yeah, there's definitely Pink Floyd there as well. And of course, the song Bartender.
Yeah.
As soon as you mention beer and whiskey, cheers, motherfucker. So yeah, this is a cool album. Standouts, Garden, Bartender, Something to Say, Abuse, From the Grave, Ulysses, but the whole album's fantastic. So yeah, gets 10. I fucking love this.
Nice,
so
man.
Good.
I'm stoked. I'm glad that you enjoyed it that much, man. That's fucking makes me really, really happy. I hope that continues on. Let's do the rounds.
Yeah.
Jeff, let's go to you next. How'd you go?
Yeah, loved it. Everything Dave said, and I can't top it. Look, it's a great album. It had a bit of a stoner rock vibe to it, but it didn't quite commit to that, which I was kind of happy about. So like they dabbled their toes in it, and you could definitely hear it. And yes, Down, Sabbath, and what was the other band there you mentioned? Skynyrd, yeah. Yeah, all those bands, I guess, yeah, you definitely get that. I liked it a lot, and I'm not going to go quite as 10, but I'm gonna do 9. It sort of came out of nowhere for me, so I really liked it. So 9 shots.
Nice, cool. Belle?
Yeah, I loved it too. Like, legit, if I had have heard this last year, it would have been somewhere in my top 10s easily. If not, if in like the Aussie one, just in the actual top 10s. Like, it's just that good. Things that stood out to me, when they're playing a riff and then they throw in the twin guitar harmony in the sort of second round, they just did that all throughout. That was fucking great. I loved it. Just the way they kind of brought that in and out. Very well done. Great use of strings in Abuse.
Yes.
Particularly, at the start when they used a cello, I think it was a cello, to play a rock riff in the intro.
So cool.
Fuck, that was cool. Just really creative. So just a cool song. The whole down and dirty vibe, this band just really draws you in. It just made me want to get drunk and go and commit petty crime.
Yes.
just loved it.
Just, a bad influence since 2007.
Just put me in a mood.
Nice.
Yeah. So love it. These guys, I'd have them play at my wedding or my funeral.
That's a quote. That's cool.
I give it 10. This is just fucking great.
Wow.
Can't fault it.
That is awesome.
Gotta say, Belle, that comment reminded me of a quote from El Bundy on Married with Children. They're at the video library and Peg says, "Let's rent 4 weddings and a funeral." And he's like, "Isn't that 5 of the same thing?"
That's great. Look, I heard this in February last year, and it was one of those ones where obviously we didn't get around to it. I'm so glad we have this week finally gotten to it because it's doing well, and I'm going to be the same as everyone else. I loved it. I love the grit in it, especially on the vocals. I thought that's a really nice touch, and it stands out on its own for that reason alone. But as has been mentioned, there's so many bands you can cross-reference. But for me, I got things like anything from Black Sabbath to Thin Lizzy to fucking Metallica and Black Label Society. Like all that sort of stuff is in there as well.
Yeah.
That twin guitar that Belle mentioned, that Thin Lizzy-esque moment when they go the second cycle through, like it was such a great little addition to their style, and it's a real trademark thing that's still unique at the same time. We mentioned all these bands, but this stands well and truly out on its own, and deservedly so. It's got blues, it's got doom, it's got southern, and it's got so much more in this melting pot that's just fantastic to hear, and it all works well. I love the groove. The way the space opens up for the bass and the guitar to really play off of each other is really well done across the whole album. It's got great riffs, great solos. I love the energy all over it, and some really well done lyrics, which has been touched on by you guys too. I thought there was some very cool storytelling in this one. The strings in Abuse was another little highlight moment in there for me too. There's more than meets the eye when it comes to this band and their album. The tones, the mix were all fantastic too. There's some great use of things like Pang that really complement the songs overall. The way they've used composition, arrangement, performances, and then the studio to really complement everything about the song has been really well done here. it's well written, well performed. There's nothing you can say bad about this album. I love this one to bits. I think it's a great journey of an album too. Like Dave said, the peaks and troughs aspect that it does keep you guessing the whole way through, and the repeat listen is so valuable on this one to just gets you more in love with this album the more you spin it. And I've loved it since I heard it, and I'm glad we're doing it now. So yeah, I think it's great. More from this band soon, please. As soon as you're able to give us more, because I love this. Or it would be cool to see these guys gig with a band like Greystone Canyon. I reckon that'd be a cool lineup.
Yes.
Those two
Fuck
play.
yeah.
That'd be good.
That'd be cool. And I was thinking Tragic Earth, but they're no longer with us. But yeah, Tragic Earth would be good.
That would be that'd be actually a really cool 3-band lineup if you could make that happen. That'd be fantastic, actually. But yeah, for me, 9 Shots, Garden, Bartender, Abuse, and From the Grave. I love From the Grave. That's probably my favorite song on the album, but that's such a cool moment on the album overall. Quickly here, Michael says, Emergency Rule, 9 Shots. Love this. Got into it because Andrew put a track on the Terrace Mail playlist on Spotify. Wow, that's a really cool. That's gone back in time too. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. PJR, 8.5 shots. And Jolie says 8 shots for Emergency Rule as well. Cool. All righty. Time now to move on to Fretboard Feud. This time of the show is where we get into things and start going through our journey through Thin Lizzy's discography as we go through things here. So people, this is where comments will get a bit sort of haphazard, so make sure you give us a reference point for your comments here. Last week, we had the joy of going through Bad Reputation from 1977. Today, we're going to go through Black Rose, a rock legend from 1979. But quickly, as always, we do a recap. As things stood at the end of, or as we did last round, I was on 260, Bell 250, Jeff 245, and Dave 225. That's where everyone was at on the points scoreline wise, as things were last week. Then went through and did, Bad Reputation, as we were inclined to do, and so the audience choice top 5 for Bad Reputation go as follows. Southbound came in number 5. Dancing in the Moonlight came in number 4. Soldier of Fortune, number 3. Opium Trail, number 2. And Bad Reputation came in number 1, which makes things interesting in the scoring of things. So, Dave, unfortunately, you chose That Woman's Gonna Break Your Heart. That netted you 20 points for this one, even though I think it's a fantastic song as well. I'm surprised I didn't get more love than that, but 20 points for Dave. Bell got 30 with choosing Dancing in the Moonlight. Jeff and I then split the points because we got the same amount of votes. It's just a play count that split them into 1 and 2. But yeah, Opium Trail and Bad Reputation for Jeff and myself got us 45 points apiece, which changed the score to a degree, but it's still remarkably tight overall. Dave is now on 245, Bell on 280, Jeff on 290, and me on 305. And with like a half dozen albums to go, this is still exceptionally close.
Yeah,
and anything can
anybody's
change. So let's see how this plays out. So all those things, that's the table set. That's what we're up to. Let's get through and give our thoughts on Thin Lizzy's Black Rose, a rock legend. Bell, whoever goes last the week before goes first in the new week. This is your time. So over to you. There we go. Vinyl again.
Of course, I've got it. How can I not have this one? It's my favorite.
Left out.
Yeah. So this is peak Thin Lizzy, in my opinion. And what else the fuck have I written? Yeah, I didn't write that, but yeah, it's a mixture of tough and tender. I think this album, a lot of Thin Lizzy albums are, I guess, but this one really stands out to me. Just to have that, it's obvious. And it has one of my all-time favorite Thin Lizzy songs on it, which I'm going to pick. I'm not going with, there's a few obvious picks in here, but I'm going with a bit of a deeper cut, and that is With Love.
Cool.
Nice pick.
Yeah, that was in my top 4.
Yep.
That's a fucking great song. Cool video too. Just simple band performance, but yeah, it's fucking great.
Yep. No, well, I definitely did enjoy that one as well. Like I said, it was in my top 4, and I forgot to put the link to the song in the comments, so here it comes. The reference track for this one in the description box as well is Waiting for an Alibi. That was the easiest video for me to find. So Bell has taken With Love. I think a song that we all pretty much agreed is a great choice. I get to go next, and for me with this album, right from the start, this is just exactly more of what you want from this band by now, isn't it? It's got great rumble. I love the bass tone on this one. Same for the dual guitar tones across this one as well. As always, Phil is on fire vocally and lyrically, and in some ways, this is a bit more direct, possibly, than Bad Reputation, particularly in the mix. Still great layering in this one, though. It's just a little bit less flair, but it works really well. Again, Tony Visconti has done a wonderful job of just capturing and presenting this band at their finest kind of thing. A few little tweaks, bits and pieces here and there, but generally speaking, just capture a great band almost live and just present it, and it's done exceptionally well. That said, there are little bits and pieces of those extra touches, like tracks like S&M highlight that well. They do still use the studio to good effect across the album. But what songs like that do is add more variety and spice, not only to this album, but also to the overall catalog, which is a wonderful bunch of music now. There's some great solos in this one, like you get everything else. I love the flow of the album. I think it's probably a little bit more mature now from these guys, which is, reflected in songs like Sarah, for example, and With Love too. But that said, that maturity hasn't diminished their impact, and this lineup is firing on all cylinders, even though it's a relatively new one. So for me, I think the softer touches and the heavier touches really balance each other well. I love this one to bits. That said, you go through things like this, like With Love was a song that I had on my list. Sarah was another wonderful sort of softer track on this album as well, especially when you think about how this one harkens back to the early days of the band as well. Do Anything You Want to Do, as far as album openers go, is fantastic as well. I think it sets the tone wonderfully. But seeing as it's here, I'm going to go with Waiting for an Alibi. I think that everything you want from this band is in this song at this point in time. It's got a great story, a great riff. That twin guitar attack is fantastic. The bass, the drums, the vocals, lyrics is all fucking great. This is one song that I think it's hard to go past. So I think the hook just tops it off. So yeah, I'm going to go with Waiting for an Alibi. That's my pick of the bunch this week, and I'm happy to have it. But there are some great songs all over this one. So that being said, it's Jeff's turn. Dave goes first next week. But Jeff, you're up next.
Yeah, another really good album that I hadn't listened to in quite a number of years, so I was happy to listen to it again. And I had forgotten how good it was, and it really is an underrated album in a band that is just full of, amazing shit. Really, hard to pick a song here because, a lot of great songs. They've got, as you mentioned, the energy and everything from previous is building and. I really enjoyed this album a lot. I thought about S&M, and I thought about that got a little too close to home. Like my wife and I were into S&M. Unfortunately, when she slept, I had no choice but to masturbate. But so anyway, sorry. But I'm gonna actually go with the opening track. Do Anything You Want To.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, well, speaking of S&M, that's not a great.
Guessing you didn't hear that much when you were married.
No. Well, I told you before we had hall sex as well. We'd walk by each other in the hall and go, "Fuck you."
So this is when you realized you had to give it up.
Oh, fuck! Here we go. Here we go. Now that the puns
no more seeing people.
That's why I'm not married. Yeah.
Stop, or I got to get out of here.
Dave, over to you.
Oh, fuck. Oh, man. This has made it even harder. I do have a few things to say about this album because I love it. It's probably their best. Definitely a 10. But like all good rock and roll albums, it's diverse, honest, and passionate. It's an interesting glimpse into the mind of Phil Lynott in many different roles and the hats that he wore. Like many men, women, there are many different sides to a person, and this encapsulates everything. And as Belle said, this is probably peak Thin Lizzy. It's probably peak Thin Lynott as well, because he's at the height of his success, height of his creativity, height of his personal life. Everything's happening. Also, the height of his demons, I think, as well, which also shows up in this. Biggest contrast in this album is Sarah, his new young daughter, and I've Got to Give It Up. Two very different songs, two very different topics, and shows the two different places he's at this point in his life. There's also many other contrasts, like Irish heritage on display in the title track, and Youthful Rebellion with Do Anything You Want to Do, the opening track. There's radio-friendly songs like the fantastic Waiting for an Alibi, which should be what this band is known for rather than The Boys Are Back in Town, which is still a fantastic song, but I think this is much superior. Was a single, not what the band's known for, unfortunately. Then you get the darker tracks like S&M, which is fucking fantastic as well. This is without question one of their best albums, which leaves me with a massive dilemma because there's still a couple of really good songs that I could pick to get some massive points. I could and should go with the title track. I really should. But personally, I should go with Sarah because when Jade was born, we brought her home. And I took her for like a walk through the house, and like, this is the kitchen, this is the dining room, this is the Guns N' Roses poster on the wall. She's like a little baby all wrapped up, swaddled. Like, no, I'm gonna go to sleep. And no, wait, this is Guns N' Roses. But I sung this song to her, but I changed Sarah to Jade, which you can see the love that this guy had for his daughter, which makes Gotta Give It Up more poignant because, dude, you had everything. You can fucking whatever your demons were, man, you couldn't get past it. But those, like, Gotta Give It Up, Sarah, S&M, or Black Rose, any of those songs are fucking great. And I'm gonna go Black Rose.
Yeah, nice.
Fuck, it's a great song. Musically, just everything about it's perfect. So going Black Rose. My number one anyway, so I'm going with that. Can't believe my number one was still free.
Cool. Well, there we go. It's worked out pretty well. So just to quickly recap here, Belle has chosen With Love. I've got Waiting for an Alibi. Jeff has Do Anything You Want to Do, and Dave has Black Rose. That said, like I was saying, next week, Dave gets to go first, and the album we're going to be doing next week is Chinatown. So we have, 4 weeks to go on this one, so it's still close enough to see.
I kind of wish I wasn't going first on that album because there's some really great songs.
Well, there's great albums to come, really, honestly.
Yeah.
So we're not done yet, so we'll see how things play. You get to go second the week after on Renegade, so see what happens.
That's good.
All right. Let's see. What have I got? I'll go quickly through comments here because there's one from Craig who says emergency rule 9 shots. Considering the Soundgarden and Stone Temple Pilots vibe coming through the music in Garden, I was pleasantly surprised that Dave liked it so much. We'll be grabbing this one. So there we go. Craig enjoyed it.
Either of those bands. Wow.
I think it's one of those bands that's chameleon enough to be whatever anyone wants it to be, but also because of that, will appeal to so many more people. Yeah, so there we go. PJ says, I need this on vinyl, should be a requirement in this group. Just about. Craig says, Black Rose is 2 to force, and PJ says, I can't unsee the S&M song now. Well, there you go. You're welcome. On that note, before Belle does run away, we are going to move on to the part of the show that is hers to command this week. This is, and now for something completely different, this is where one of us takes over and gives us all a game or a challenge or something else. And we don't know what's going to happen until it actually gets here. So the only person who has any fucking idea what's going to happen next is Belle. So with that being said, over to you.
Okay, so I'm not going to do the guess the album, guess the artwork. Might do that next time, but I don't want to. I don't feel like I only just did that, but I know that you've changed the order. So yeah. I felt like doing something different. Sort of. I've gone back to trivia. I'm doing trivia. So the other time I did trivia with a theme, and the theme was, what was it? Drink Up, Rock On.
Yes.
So this time I thought I would make the trivia. So I got 10 questions.
Yeah.
The Big Four, because that's something that we all, we all know about.
Yep.
And
cool.
I don't think these questions are going to be particularly difficult, but I don't know. We'll see how we go.
Just before you do, people, if you're going to try and answer the questions in the comments, it's great if you do, but I'm not going to be able to play catch up with that later on. So just we'll scroll through those. Get in the comments, give us your thoughts, your guesses as you go through, and see if you're right. Put them on the record, but I'm not going to be able to go through them all as we move on through the show. Anyway, Belle, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but just
no, that's cool.
So, yeah.
No, don't say it. Anyway, all right. So, without further ado,
do we just call it the answer or put our hand up? Or
I think put the hand up, and between Belle and myself, we'll
that's what
give it on to get the
hands up, horns up, whatever. Yep,
horns up.
And so, is it like if that person gets it wrong, the next person with their puts their hand up?
If you get it wrong, you're out for that question.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, this is. I don't know if I should play this as a 2-part. Yeah, it's a 2-part question. I've got a couple of 2 parts in there, so it's
that's all right. All good.
All right. So, who has the most studio albums of the Big Four?
Jeff Just.
Anthrax.
Wrong.
Okay, Dave, you got to go.
Megadeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is Megadeth. They have 16.
Yeah.
I believe Anthrax have 11.
Really?
Oh, something like
Anthrax
that.
are relatively
Yeah.
down on it.
They're
Yeah,
a bit slack on tracks.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
been
Yeah.
nearly
Hey,
going up on close. It's been 10
I
years since
never
the
would
last
have
album, I think.
guessed. Well,
So anyway, just about anyway. Belle, continue.
So the second part of that is who has the least?
Anthrax.
No.
no,
No, okay, I'm wrong. No,
Oh, I don't know who was.
I
Was
think
it-
Jeff just edged it. I think Jeff just edged.
well, I'll just the least.
The
Metallica.
least. Yes,
Metallica.
it is Metallica.
There you go.
They have 10.
And
There you go. All right.
And Slayer have 11. So they're in the middle.
Wow.
The question originally was going to be all of them.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
quality over quantity.
Here we go.
Oh, fuck. All right. Question 2. Who is Anthrax's current lead guitarist?
Oh fuck.
Dave.
Dave.
John Donis from Shadows Fall.
Yes.
There you
Yes,
go. Yeah,
it
I wasn't
is.
upset on that one. No, well done. Well done. You deserve that one.
And
Yep,
yes,
good
he
job.
is ex Shadows Fall. But he's
Yep.
been with them since 2013, so
Yeah, a while now.
quite a
12
while.
years. Wow. Okay.
Mm. All right, this is multiple choice.
Okay.
Although it doesn't really need to be, but I'm going to say it anyway. All right. Which of the following 1986 albums was released first? Was it Master of
Master of
Puppets,
Puppets.
Peace Cells, or Rain
Is
in
he
Blood?
right, Bill?
Can we hear that? Can we hear
Yes.
the question?
He's right.
Dave's becoming our local trivia king at this rate, but well done, Dave. He's out in front now. It's going to be hard to rein him in
Yes.
from here, but anyway, we'll see what happens.
Wow, that was impressive. 3rd of March.
good, Dave.
That
The
came out.
only reason I know it's 3rd of March is because of Stranger Things season 4, which is like
Yeah.
in April.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Nick Pickers has said,
really?
fucking Eddie learned all of Master Puppets, including the
Like
solo,
2 weeks.
without a tablature book in
Yeah.
1 month.
Yeah.
So it's the only reason I know
A lot
that.
of commentary about that online. Yeah, it was fucking
Oh, wow. That's almost to the level of Dream Theater friggin' fandom.
crazy. Obsession, yes. Just slightly.
Jeez.
Oh, God.
All right. Okay. Question 4A. What year did the Big Four perform together at the Sonosphere Festival in Bulgaria? Jeff.
2010.
Yes.
There we go. Nice one,
4B. What song did
Yep.
they perform?
Go on, Dave.
Am I evil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Except for Scott Ian.
Mm.
He was there.
He was
He
there.
was
and
there. He didn't
Slayer
perform Am I
refused to
Evil.
perform
Yeah,
actually
he
as
didn't
well.
come that song.
For whatever reason, he didn't come out for that encore and do what everybody else in every other band did. He didn't join him.
But Slayer didn't perform because they refused to play? Did they
No,
not?
Slayer did the Am I Evil? It was just Scott Ian who was conspicuous by his absence of not being on stage. I got the
He
DVD.
was. I watched.
I got it as well.
I watched it.
Oh.
I watched it. He was there.
Well, I know there was a big thing. Carmeria.
Yeah, all
was
4
really
bands
pissed
were
off
there. They all performed their
afterwards.
sets, but the Am I Evil thing at the end, Scott Ian's not on it.
Okay.
Scott Ian is on the one I watched. He's
Really?
getting right into it. Yeah. I watched it today.
Maybe I'm wrong.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Interesting now.
Not in the photo.
Okay. We'll have to go back to
confirm,
that.
But anyway,
Maybe
doesn't
not.
matter.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
wasn't the question.
I
You
mean,
got
the
the question
pens,
right.
yeah. The questions were still factual, but
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
interesting. All right. Question 5. Who from the other 3 bands briefly joined Megadeth in the 80s? Dave.
Yeah.
Kerry King.
Yes,
Wow.
he did.
I
Okay.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
He joined. I don't remember what year it was, but when Megadeth were first formed, Kerry King sort of jumped in, did about 5 gigs, and then thought, "No, fuck this." And then
Okay.
Went back to
Yeah,
Slayer.
I'm sure it was a case of thank. We'll call you, but yeah,
Yeah.
don't call us.
Maybe-
There's no way he
I
went.
follow the question, but I don't know if Bell's got it on the
This
list.
comes from.
That guy is shit.
Oh, I got another Megadeth related question. I don't know if it's on Bell's list. So I don't want to say it because I might like stealing your thunder. But
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how about
Save
save
it
it
to
till
the end.
Go to the end.
yeah, I'll
Dave.
save it to the end.
All right. Question 6. Who had the least amount of lineup changes?
Not Megadeth.
I would actually.
And Andrew got
I
that.
got there just. I'm going to go on a limb and say Metallica.
No.
Jeff got a second, so
Megadeth.
No.
Least?
The least
Slayer.
amount.
Slayer.
The least amount. What?
Megadeth had the most.
Yeah, least.
All
I think
right.
Slayer.
It has to be Slayer then.
Well, yes, it is. It's Slayer. They have 3 former members.
Yeah.
Metallica
Yeah.
have 4
Okay.
former members.
Yeah.
So,
Drugs.
Fair
Too much drugs.
Anthrax have 17 former members, and Megadeth had 30 former members.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Those
well,
Mustangs are cunt to work
clearly, I
with.
heard that in, like, some
You
other
heard what you heard what you wanted to
alternate
hear, Jeff. You
Yeah,
heard
the
what you wanted to hear.
Oh,
the multiverse. I got a different question.
never
You
mind.
can watch it back and understand that you got that wrong. Anyway,
Yes, they did. Ugh.
just to fucking put the not the final point on it. Sorry, Bill. Continue.
Okay. Well, I better move on. All right, number 7. Which Anthrax album was the first to feature singer Joey Belladonna after his return in 2010?
Oh, Dave.
Dave!
We've come for you all.
No!
Ah,
No.
Oh, that
they're
was...
just- I'm going to claim it. Worship music.
Yes.
Motherfucker.
Yes.
Got a mixed up.
Like when Dave put his hand, I was like, ah, fuck, and then he didn't get it right. I'm like, oh, I know this one. I know this one.
I gotta get something wrong. What can I say?
Yes.
I've got to get something right. So there's something.
I'm not
not good at
doing
these
this
things, are you?
scoring.
No, I'm scoring. It's okay. It's all good.
Okay, cool. You're focused on scoring. That's why. All right. Number 8. Which band had a Grammy award-winning song appear on the Saw 3 soundtrack?
Ooh. Dave.
Slayer.
Yes, they did.
Wow. Fucking
What's
hell.
This isn't a bonus, but do you remember what it was called?
Oh.
No, I wasn't even sure. I just process of elimination. No way it was Metallica.
Oh.
Megadeth aren't violent enough, and Anthrax I don't think would have fit. So Slayer.
Wow, so that was a
Well, you're the
guess.
horror
Well,
master anyway.
Yeah,
so
wow.
Yeah.
give it- Yep.
Slayer made sense
Well-
for the Source soundtrack.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that until I went
Neither
through.
did I actually.
Yeah.
What's the song, Bill?
Eyes of the Insane.
Okay, cool.
Well,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it does.
Cool.
All right. Question 9. At a download festival in the mid-2000s, Lars Ulrich was taken to hospital ill. Which Big Four drummer co-filled in for him so Metallica could play their set?
Okay. Dave, did you commit to that or are you going to give it to Jeff?
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
All right. Yeah.
Dave Lombardo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also,
He-
Jody Georgeson played as well.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. So Lombardo performed Battery and the Four Horsemen, and then Ulrich's drum tech performed Fade to Black, and then Jordison performed the rest of the set.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Um,
That is cool.
All right. Last question.
Yep.
What record label were Megadeth with when they released their iconic Rust in Peace?
Okay, Dave, got there just.
Capital.
Yes.
Oh, fucking hell. All right. Just
Wow.
in case there's any doubt, Dave romped this one.
I think he did.
That's me.
Fucking
dead.
hell.
I got one question right. Jeff got 2 questions right. And Dave got the rest. So that's
Yeah.
1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
That's
7, 8, 9.
7.
Because that's 10 because there was 2 A and B questions in
Oh,
this.
Bonus.
that was cool,
Yeah.
Belle. That was fun.
Yeah.
Hey,
Mhm.
Well
okay.
done, Dave. Well done, guys.
Well
that
done,
was
Dave,
fun.
Yeah.
2 well-known metal guitar players auditioned for Megadeth. Who were they? But didn't get the gig.
Well,
Didn't get the
Very well known.
Did not get the gig from Megadeth.
who hasn't played in Megadeth?
Yeah, just about. That's an almost harder
I
question.
don't know.
isn't it?
There's not really
Um,
many left guitarists in the world.
Ooh.
Well-known guitar players auditioned.
One
Didn't-
more legendary, well-known. Other one, maybe not so much, but still pretty well-known. People should know his name.
They're metal guitarists, or
Yes. Yeah,
Yep.
very much so.
No.
Loomis.
Yes.
Okay. That's one.
Jeff Loomis.
Oh.
He was 17, and he
Yeah.
impressed the hell out of Dave Mustaine, but Mustaine said, "You're too young."
Yeah.
He said, but he told him to not give up,
Mm.
and obviously he
Wow.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another I'll give you a hint. This guy had a drummer who was very much attached to him, but Nick was already very much in Megadeth, and the guy said, because I got my own drummer.
Ooh. Oh,
Tell you what, it would have been a fucking cool lineup of Megadeth with David Ellison, Dave Mustaine, and these two motherfuckers.
Diamond.
Diamond.
Yeah.
Diamond Vinny. Dimebag audition for Megadeth.
Whoa.
That would have been fucking wow.
But Nick was already in the band, and Dime said, "I'm not doing it without my brother."
Oh.
And that was just before Rust in Peace. That was before Marty Freeman joined.
Fucking hell.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm kind of glad
it didn't happen because you wouldn't have Cowboys from Hell. If you didn't have Cowboys from Hell, you wouldn't have so many bands that were influenced by that.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have Rust in Peace sounding like Rust in Peace without Marty Freeman. Yeah.
It was meant to be. It would have been curious just to see those four people jam together. That's what they would come up with. But it wasn't that. You got Rust in Peace, you got Cowboys from Hell. But, I'm going to grab that big 4 DVD. I'm curious.
Okay, cool.
Oh my God! Well, I'm going to find that link.
I'm going to quickly go through some comments here before we go to the battle tonight. Vinny Bell, Vinny says we should guess Bell's game before it's presented. That said, his burlesque show and on anyone's bingo card. Not on mine. You are fucking wrong hill, man. People are guessing in the comments, which is cool. Michael says King did not like Dave as much as I understand it. Cool. There we go.
That caused, I think, the rift between the two bands. That falling out after not much time. Yeah.
By the way, I just Googled it. Slayer did not play Am I Evil?
Okay.
They refused.
What?
Because they were like, well, because it was a Metallica song, and they were like, well, why? Fuck, we're one of the.
It's not a Metallica song; it's a Diamond
No,
Head song.
I understand that, but Metallica made it famous. They were like, why should we play that? Why aren't they playing one of our songs? We're one of the big 4. It was stupid, but that's what that was their.
Sure. All right, I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't change the question that you asked, which is what was the encore kind of thing. So
I'm confused now. There's some post quiz research to be done.
Yeah. What are they? Streisand? Is it? No, not Streisand effect. It's the fucking other thing. I don't know. Anyway, someone will let us know. Vinny though says, I believe Beatles had the fewest lineup changes, except for that time when Yoko auditioned as a hybrid distortion pedal / secondhand dildo from a local op shop. Fucking hammer that one home there. There we go. Kelly said, Dime, people got some questions right, answers right in the comments. So Michael, Craig, and Sally and stuff, but well done for getting involved and having all that sort of stuff. Good to see you all getting involved there with that. Dave is back just to ram home a point here. So, Dave, you're back just in time to settle the debate.
Door makes a noise for me.
No, it's not as bad as it used to be.
So you'll notice on that Slayer doesn't play in Am I Evil.
Yeah, they apparently didn't play Am I Evil, but
I remember the big controversy afterwards because Carmeria and the other guys in Slayer are like, well, why should we play that song? It's if it's the big 4, we're all evil, we're all even.
They're just being whiny little bitches. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, that was kind of.
I remember there being a kick up, about that. But anyway, Adrian's here. What's up, mate? It's cool shirt, Bell, by the way. So. There we go, Adrian. There's some love for Bell.
Hello. Yeah, thank you.
You might be right. There's no. Not the picture I bought was in here. It's just 4 individual band shots.
Photos. Yeah. All right. Well, we can all do our own homework and work it out as we go along. Yeah. Let's get into the battle for tonight because we've got a few rounds to get through. We'll try and make them as snappy as we can do, but we'll see how we go because this is a season finale. Week after week, we've been going through and doing King of the Riff, which is where we put albums up against each other. And the theme for this season has been one album wonders, bands that only ever released one studio album, not counting compilations and live and all the other things that people milk these things for. Just one studio album, and that was the criteria, basically. And from that, we had a massive list to go through. And I think I can pull that up, actually. What was the list that we had for this season? Pull up here. No, not that one. Dumbass. Different page, different things. So for this theme, we had Them Crooked Vultures, self-titled, Temple of the Dog, Sex Pistols, Never Mind the Bollocks, Beautiful Sin, The Unexpected. We had Derek and the Dominoes, Layla, and other sort of love songs. What else we have in there? A few other ones. I don't know. Lost Boys, Lost and Found. And the other ones are Damage Plan, You Found Power, Skärlet, self-titled, and other ones that have made it through to the final round here tonight, because this is the finale. We're going to go through things and as such pick a final winner. That is the mission here tonight. So we have 3 rounds to get through. 2 rounds we know in advance what they are. The last round is going to be the winner of these 2 rounds, basically, long story short. It's funny because this season it is almost entirely different between the audience and us in so many respects. We've gone entirely different trees, which makes things very, very interesting to see how things play out. But anyway,
who voted for Lost Boys? Seriously.
People did, but we've got some results to get through to see how things play out this week, Dave. So let's see what happens as we go through. So for round 7, for us, it is Skärlet, self-titled, going up against Beautiful Sin, The Unexpected. You have reference tracks to these ones in the description box. I'm not going to go share any of these ones again. For the audience side of things, the battle is going to be between Skärlet, self-titled, and Them Crooked Vultures, self-titled. We'll do the results of that one in a moment. But for now, I'm going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons. And Belle, let's get your thoughts on round 7, Skärlet versus Beautiful Sin. Which way did you go with this one?
All right, I'll make this snappy. Skärlet, Beautiful Sin. I get that these are 2 different genres,
Yes.
but I still think Skärlet are completely outclassed by Beautiful Sin in all ways. And the more I hear the Beautiful Sin album, I like it. The more I hear the Skärlet album, I dislike it. So easy win for Beautiful Sin for me.
Nice. All right. Cool. Dave, you get to follow up. I'm drawing out at random as we go through here. So Dave, you get to follow it.
Cool. Yeah, both of these albums are awesome. I've only recently discovered the Beautiful Sin album. Skärlet I've known for a long time. So it's kind of well-known versus new, and you have to try and just weigh one up, and it's very, very different genres. But at this point in my life, I prefer Beautiful Sin. So I'm going with that one.
Nice. All right. Cool. Let's see who's next. I get to go next. It's an interesting battle, this one, between 2 albums that one I knew and loved beforehand, and another one I've come to love as part of this process. We know I put Skärlet forward and loved it. Beautiful Sin discovered here and have fallen in love and I'm not tired of listening to it at all. As is the trend, very different, like I said, but it's like a little metal band going up against a band that has the polish of acts like Halloween attached to it, which makes it very different. Again, it's cool going back over these albums and listening to them week after week and then having a break from them and then coming back to them. And sort of that whole process back and forth is really, really cool. Neither of these albums are perfect. I'm not going to make that claim. They're both really good, though, and I love them both. And I'm definitely going to listen to them both again and again and again as long as I can, as long as I can get access to them. I think they're fantastic. One had a better mix, a more cohesive balance, and less fluff than the other one. That's kind of where it sort of settled down for me. That said, if you had to choose, really depends on your mood, though, at the same time. It's a really interesting battle. I think it's a shame for me personally that I love Skärlet so much and Belle has grown to dislike the album so much. But I understand it. Everyone's got their own tastes and that. But it's just like, wow, it's just one of those things. But for me, I love Skärlet and have since I heard it. So I'm going to keep leaning that way. I'm going to keep going with Skärlet. So it's 1 to Skärlet, 2 to Beautiful Sin, which means, Jeff, you get to see what happens next. So which way are you going?
Yeah, well, look, I listened to both these albums and I had mixed results. I Beautiful Sin, I really, really enjoyed, but it didn't like, there was something missing. I think I mentioned that before. There was something missing in it that didn't wow me. I liked it, but it didn't wow me. And the Skärlet, there were actual times where I listened to Skärlet and it did kind of wow me. There was some things there because yes, totally different genres, and you have to accept that they're completely. You can't compare the genres. That's not what we're doing here. We're picking the album that we enjoy the most, right? For whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think the album that I enjoyed the most, believe it or not, was Skärlet. So I'm going to give my votes to Skärlet.
Okay. What does that mean?
Makes it interesting because this makes it a tie. which we do have a recipe for when this happens amongst us here at the show. Whenever there's a tie, we have to go through the play counts and work out which one has the more plays than the other one. And in that context, I don't think it's going to be much of a surprise that it's going to go to Beautiful Sin then in that context, because it does have more plays just on reputation line. That said, Skärlet is nothing to be sneezed at. Its play count is pretty good for an independent band that haven't been around for nearly 10 years now when you break it all down.
Yeah.
So,
people still talk about them to this day.
Yeah, which is in itself in the Melbourne scene. That's a fucking a big feather in the cap.
They made some fucking waves when that album came out.
Yeah, and no disrespect to anyone involved. It's just the way it works out. We have a tie. We have to go a certain way. We have to find some way to break the tie, and that's how it works out. But yeah, so Beautiful Sin will go through for us. Skärlet unfortunately leaves the path behind here, which makes it all a bit more interesting. But that actually kind of in its own way mimics the audience poll here, because the poll for the audience, their round was between Skärlet, the same as us, but the opposite side of the coin was them Crooked Vultures in this context. And it was actually a really close battle, believe it or not. It was separated by not much at all. I think it was separated by about 20%. So 60% went one way, 40% the other way, and that goes to them Crooked Vultures just in this case. So it's been refreshing to see Skärlet get some love on the online commentary as well, considering that you got one massive album going up against one that not many people would have heard of in the grand scheme of things, comparatively speaking. To see Skärlet still getting some love in the audience side of things is a great credit to the band as well. So nicely done there. So it is them Crooked Vultures for the audience, Beautiful Sin for us. So I'm going to quickly make a note here. The Beautiful Sin goes through to round 9, the finale for us, which is one down. Couple to go, which means the next round is as follows. It is for us. We have Tuomas Holopainen, The Life and Times of Scrooge, versus Temple of the Dog, self-titled. Again, two very different albums. And
Dog
then
versus Duck.
I know, Dog versus Duck. I hadn't even thought of that until you said it. That's nice. For the audience, it's Lost Boys, Lost and Found versus Temple of the Dog. So there are crossover points for what we're doing here, which is cool. But there's also those stark differences, which could lead to a very different outcome at the end. But anyway, it's Tuomas Holopainen for us versus Temple of the Dog. And I've just drawn out again. And Belle, you get to go first for the second time. So which way have you settled this one? And was it a more challenging battle or not?
Yes and no. I think it was a more evenly balanced battle, I think, for me, because it wasn't so much a matter of one outclassing the other. It was because there's so much talent on display here in both albums. I think it more came down to personal taste. For me, and Tuomas, I should say, his music always uplifts me. It doesn't matter. I mean, he's got a black metal album and makes me feel good. Like, I just everything he does. Everything he does just makes me feel happy. So, Temple of the Dog, bit of a downer. I mean, it's brilliant, and I really like it. But I have to pick the Duck album over it. I'm afraid. Duck over Dog.
Duck over Dog.
Duck over Dog.
Duck over Dog. All right, that's one down. Jeff, you're next.
Yeah. Wow. This was once again hugely contrasting styles. You can't even really compare them at all. I mean, there's no comparison other than the fact that they're both music, so
bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
And no, you're fine. And so when I thought about this, I thought, okay, what album would I like to listen to more? And Temple of the Dog is a very sort of it's a somber. It's got some stuff in there that I like. I like it quite a bit, and I think I voted for it last time. But the Duck album I could just put on in the background, and if I'm playing D&D or something, it's perfect. It's not it's not going to have anything in there that's going to stop everybody from going, what the fuck was that? It's just going to be background music. So when I thought, how am I going to vote? The Ducks have it.
Wow. It's going to be really interesting this week. All right. we're going to have some really interesting battles coming out of this one. Dave, you're up next.
Yeah, obviously I picked Tuomas Holopainen. I love everything that guy does. This album, from start to finish, is just moods up, moods down, massive journey, all through music mostly. There's a little bit of vocals, but it's a fantastic listen from start to finish. It's might not be metal, might not be his Nightwish, but this is like the bare essence of what he does, what's in his soul, the way he creates moods through music. So I think it's fucking brilliant. On the other hand, you have Temple of Dog, fucking Seattle. Fantastic singing, but that's pretty much all I can credit it for because it's just one very long, drawn-out, fucking boring, fucking load of crap. So easy win for the Duck album.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's a fait accompli. Now it's time to see if it's a sweep. Wow. Again, like incredibly different battle. I actually, just to recap here, we went through and we had the audience gave us their suggestions, and then we sort of went through and picked. And I actually really enjoy how this has played out for us personally. I think I've enjoyed this version of doing it. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's been really cool as opposed to just sort of going to top 10, having more input and going through and finding these different battles has been really curious to me. And like we wouldn't have gotten this any other way apart from us doing, which is what makes it so fascinating. One is an orchestral album here. The other one is more quote unquote in our traditional wheelhouse. It's almost a battle for me between sheer beauty or up against emotional urgency, if that makes sense. It's a battle between darkness and light in some respects too. Like there's regardless of the storytelling beginning points, they've both got stories to tell. There's both emotive weight to it. Just leaves you, like you guys have mentioned, one will make you feel down, one will lift you up. They're both well written. I have to give special credit to Tuomas Holopainen and making the subject matter of Scrooge McDuck so interesting from beginning to end in such a mature way. Not like it's cartoonish at all. This is actually a really good story fleshed out from beginning to end. That's remarkable. It's something in itself to be, marveled at, and I'm glad Dave put it forward. It's maybe not quote unquote in a strict hard rock show wheelhouse kind of thing, but it's impressive. It's really fucking impressive. Plenty of emotion in that one, but when you go to emotion on the other side of the coin, you've got the Chris Cornell vocals in Temple of the Dog, which for me I think that's a powerhouse performance in and of itself. Dave, yes, you're right. I understand the critiques you have of it, but at the same time, for me, I don't get the same critique. I don't feel the same things when I listen to it, and I do appreciate the journey of the album from beginning to end. I think the lyrics and the vocals are the highlight, obviously, but I think it's a solid album from beginning to end. And it's funny how, when it comes down to it, these decisions so often come down to that old saying we have now where it's like, which one are you going to reach for first? Gun to your head, which do you reach for kind of thing. And you got to make a decision. And it's funny that as much as I love them both, there's one that for me personally speaks to my moods in general more so than the other. And while one might sort of harken back to my roots per se, the other one's the one that sort of stays with me for longer as I listen to it. So for me, it's not going to be a sweep. I'm going to go with Temple of the Dog. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to go. Sorry, I'm not going to go with Tuomas. I'm going to go with Temple of the Dog. So it's not going to be a sweep. But yeah, I've got the dog over the duck for one of us anyway, at least. But it doesn't matter because it's going to be Tuomas Holopainen.
There's a really bad joke there, but I'm not going to say it on there.
You can tell us when we go offline. So there we go. That makes it interesting. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. So for us, the final round comes down to what people would never have expected, I imagine. When you think about the albums we put forward at the start, the albums we've gone through, to get to the final albums being Beautiful Sin and Tuomas Holopainen, I don't think anyone saw that coming. But anyway, that's the way it works. We have the audience side of this to go through, though, which was Lost Boys, Lost and Found, up against the same album, Temple of the Dog. And this, I think we can all agree, if it was our battle, I think we'd probably go the same way. This was a smashing. It wasn't even close. It was a 100% one way and one way only. It was Temple of the Dog. That one went through for the audience side of things. So that was...
Lost Boys even get a vote? Wow.
I don't know. No, people loved it, man. So it is what it is. People enjoyed it, and we said, okay, cool, we'll stick it in there and off we go.
People like the Muppets, but they realize it's satire.
It really is.
That's really well done. Good call. Speaking of ducks and whatever else have you. But anyway, so while you guys have a moment to think, so just a quick moment here to think that the final album for us, the final battle for us is Beautiful Sin, The Unexpected versus Tuomas Holopainen, The Life and Times of Scrooge. Have a moment to compose yourself because I'm going to unveil the audience winner now as we go through things. So we've gone through a lot. As I said, the final audience battle ended up being them Crooked Vultures self-titled versus Temple of the Dog self-titled. And the funny part about this one, though, is that it was actually a draw when Bell tallied the scores. It was a dead fucking heat between them Crooked Vultures and Temple of the Dog. So then, of course, I went through and did the play count and all that sort of stuff. And then, as we've sat here and done this stream tonight, 2 more comments have come through for one or the other.
Kind of hoping. So it's still a draw.
No. But it's
okay.
not a draw. We have two to decide the vote for us. So we worked it out at the end of the day. It's all good. But just so you know, had it been on play count, Temple of the Dog would have won by about 40-odd million plays. So a fair bit in it. That said, the audience went one way. And funnily enough, the audience went the same way as the play count. Temple of the Dog takes the crown for the audience poll of the album here. So Temple of the Dog, they win as far as the audience is concerned. But now it's time for us to go through and pick our winner. So, Jeff, your name came out first. Where do you settle? Is it Beautiful Sin or Tuomas Holopainen?
Well, look, there's no... the elephant in the room here is that the Duck album is not hard rock at all. It's outside of our normal, what we would do. But it is such a roller coaster of emotions from beginning to end, and you get everything, and it's sweeping vistas and amazing. You just, if you close your eyes, it takes you somewhere. And I don't think the same can be said for Beautiful Sin. It's good, but I don't think the same can be said. So for me, I have to vote with my heart, and that is the Ducks have it again.
Wow. Okay. It's going to be interesting. All right. Bill, you get to follow up.
I just remember the end of the Beautiful Sin album. There's probably ducks, but there's chickens and pigs and cows and horses.
That's fitting for this whole night now, isn't it?
Taking away from more duck.
Yeah. Animal Farm. Here we go.
I will never understand the end of that album. And yeah, I was thinking the same thing as you, Jeff. It's to vote against Beautiful Sin. It is the only sort of album that's left in our wheelhouse. I feel guilty voting against it, and also it is a really good album.
Yeah,
it's really good. I will listen to this again after. We do all of this, but I can't not vote for Tuomas's album. It's just such a stunning piece of art. It's got everything. It's just got him. It's him. It's what he does. I love everything he does. I love, and it's got a guitar solo in it, so it's kind of counts.
A little bit of rock in there.
Yeah, there's a bit.
Just little.
Yeah, his wife, Joanna, she just. I listened to this today, and I was just captivated by her vocal. Yeah. I think she's just done a stunning job on this. So I can't vote for anything else.
Well, cool. Well, it's two for the Ducks. Dave, your name came out next.
Yeah. Thinking back over 20 years ago, before I even knew symphonic metal was a thing, I started hearing this genre and being interested by symphonic metal. Being a metal fan most of my life, I know how powerful and emotive that music is, but I'm also aware of other types of music, like movie scores and like symphonies and everything. And that stuff is very powerful and emotive as well. And to hear these two genres being put together, that made me think this has to be the most awesome, powerful, most emotive thing in the fucking world. So naturally, I'm going to be interested, and that's what led me to Nightwish and other subsequent bands in that genre. So they're probably equal in their power. So leading up to this battle, I'm thinking like 10 years ago doing this show, when we were pissing off Triple M, Andrew, we had that page Hey Radio, support Oz Rock, and we were doing all that protesting. There was a question that was posed to the page, and it had a massive discussion. Do you actually need guitars in a band to be a rock band?
No, and we agree. No, you don't.
You don't, because there's plenty of rock songs that rock, they have a piano, or many other types of music, but you still get that energy. Yep. So while it might not be traditionally metal, this dude is a fucking metal musician. He just has other influences. You don't have to fall into the cliches of being what fucking metal is supposed to be. There's so many expectations. There's a metal elite. This whole metal can only be fucking growly, dark, depressive.
That's right.
Or it can be, you know, LA glam or whatever. There's a big fucking thing. So while Beautiful Sin is a fantastic metal album, Tuomas Holopainen's Life and Times of Scrooge, it's still a fucking rock, opus, symphonic metal. It's what you would get with Nightwish without the guitars. It's like the bare essence. So I still think it counts in what we do. So yeah, I have no shame in voting for it over everything else.
It's cool.
There you go.
There you go. Well, there's your winner, and it's the album that Dave put forward, which is actually, I think, the first time, because it's a unique methodology of doing it. But that's pretty cool. That's a feather there.
Cheers to that, Dave.
Yeah, well done, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm glad everyone got to hear it. I didn't think it would get this far. I didn't even want it to win. I just wanted people to hear it.
Yeah, but the thing is that's the cool part about it, though, is that it has been such an impressive album to listen to, and I'm not going to dismiss it. I will go back. I never even knew it existed until you put it forward. I was like, what the hell? Like, I remember when we first started, we did the drawing of the albums, and we're all like, what the fuck are you talking about? None of us had any fucking idea what you were talking about. And now it's gone through and it's won for us. And that's the cool part of this whole journey, what this different process doing it this year has sort of meant to me in that regard. It's really thrown some odd things out there, but I like that. It's been different. And the same thing can be said for Beautiful Sin. I didn't know that album existed either until
just a couple of weeks before, ironically.
Yeah, and going through and finding these albums that I've never listened to, and some I was not even aware of, has been a really cool journey. To see two albums in that vein get to the final for us has been really, really cool too. So this is, I know that the audience is going to fucking tear us to bits. You know, them Crooked Vultures or Temple of the Dog didn't get there and all that kind of stuff. And the audience,
what a shame.
That's why the audience have their vote, and their vote was decided.
Yeah, exactly.
They had their say. Now it's time for us to have ours, and I get the final word, even though it's done and dusted. For me, it's funny because I love them both. I'll happily listen to them both again. And whilst I agree with what you're saying about the compositional aspect, and I agree that you don't need to have guitars to make it a rock album, I completely wholeheartedly. You got things like the four cellos and other outfits that are out there doing metal songs with that sort of stuff too. You don't have to have those instruments to make it rock.
No, Apocalyptica and all that stuff. Yeah,
exactly. I'll stand on that hill quite firmly. But for me, what this came down to is, I think, as much as I love both vocals, there's one vocal on these albums that I think speaks to me more, and I loved the more. One felt cleaner and clinical, not in a bad way, but it just felt like it was meant to fit the piece. The other one felt like it was more directly from the heart in terms of how it listened to, for me, listening to it and how it impacted me personally. It just felt like it spoke to me more than the other one. So it's funny sitting here going, what are your final thoughts on this one? And it comes down to the vocals. I think the composition's great, both fronts. I think that and there's nothing wrong with either vocal. It's just that which one do I personally want to gravitate towards? So I'm going to go with Beautiful Sin, just to, not to be obtuse or contrarian, but I just love that vocal take. And I would love to have, it's funny how she is so not spoken about in the metal world.
She's very talented. There's no
question.
She's got a great voice.
Yeah, and I would love to hear more from her, and I feel bad because I've got the name in other previous notes, and I haven't got it up here now, and I feel terrible for that. But that vocal performance on Beautiful Sin for me was the one that clinched it. That was when you started. It was funny because I think it was Bell might have talked about the vocals, I think. In this one, and that's what made me think about my deciding vote was going to lean that way. And it's like, no, I was like, no, the other way for the vocals. I mean, that's what made me decide here and now. So yeah, Beautiful Sin for me, but doesn't matter because our winner for us is going to be Tuomas Holopainen, The Life and Times of Scrooge. So well done to Dave. This is the first time this has happened where we put forward and gone through this process. So yeah, well done, Dave. That's a fantastic result. But again, you know, it's putting a competition on art is fucking stupid. It's all a bit of fun and games at the end of the day. It is just Don't take this seriously. Please don't get in the comments and fucking make
just
this
our opinions.
That's right.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean the album that
fun.
didn't win will no longer exist. You'll still be
No,
able to
that's
listen to your boring
love
shit.
what you love and be proud of loving what you love and all those things. And it's not about anything other than that. But it's just funny how we set ourselves challenges to make this interesting for us as we go through the whole year, and this is the fun part for us. So it's really cool to have this be the final battle and how it sort of worked out for this time around. So we're going to go through, not now, but we'll go through next week. We'll go through and pick albums again, like we did the first time around for earlier this year. We'll have a theme. We'll do a theme with our Patreon voters coming up in the coming days as well to get that sort of worked out as well. So we'll get into that shortly. Before we get out of here, I'm going to skim through comments and see what was going on. Kat says, saw Tommy on Friday night. He was impressed. Skärlet made the cut, had a bit of a laugh. So there we go. Adrian and Don have both commented and congratulated you on your beard, Jeff. Adrian says, cool beard, it's growing. Don says, Jeff's beard gets fixed. Adrian said, Temple of the Dog had killer vocals. Favorite Seattle bands are Seattle, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden.
Alice in Chains for sure.
Yeah, Alice in Chains for me too, to be honest. Dog over Duck. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things here. Vinny says, I'd add my vote, Dog, if that helps break the deadlock. Kevin's here. Good to see you, man.
Hey.
Good to see you. It's been a little while. I know the time difference.
The trivia.
I know. The time difference fucks you up. Go back and watch the trivia later on and let us know how you go. But it's so good to see you.
Fun.
Hope you're well over there. And hopefully, you're having a good time with it all. Adrian's got Anaheim Ducks. It's the wrong subject. Here we go. Don says, cheers, Dave. I can't stop listening to that album. It's awesome. And that's the whole point. It's about finding new music and enjoying it and all those things. That was fucking awesome.
That's cool.
Great, Don. Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks,
very
I'm
cool.
happy with that.
Very cool, Don Hector.
Yeah. And Rowan's here too, saying, looking forward to giving Scrooge a listen. So please do, Rowan. I actually think you might enjoy that one, knowing your taste. And good to see you, by the way, as well. He was going, if something was going to beat Beautiful Sin, I'm happy for it to be the Nightwish guy. So there we go. There's a nice
Nightwish guy.
And Rowan, thank you, Rowan. Maggie is the singer for Beautiful Sin. So thank you for saving my ass there. I appreciate it. Yeah. What do we got here? Kevin says, I thought Duck was an album by the Aristocrats. This was the one I was aware of. No, not that one. This is by Tuomas Holopainen. Maggie Luton, sorry. And then Rowan says, I guess Scrooge have won the draw as well. If it was a draw between those two, for us, Beautiful Sin would have won that one. Actually, no, you're wrong. I'm wrong. Sorry, no. Tuomas Holopainen would have won it. They had the higher songs with more plays. They had like one with 3 million plus plays on, which is what got it over the end. Yeah, so no, you're right. Tuomas would have won had it been a tie. So at the end of the way, either way, it would have been the same result anyways, no matter which way we went with it. Darren's gone, great fun show. Thank you so much for the kind words. I know we don't get to all the comments anymore. We try to keep things relatively on point. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you to you guys for jumping in yet again for another fun show. I've had a lot of fun with this one. So to Jeff on the other side of the screen, to Dave opposite corner, and to Bell on the other remaining block there, thank you so much for your time as always. Before we get out of here, though, it is time to go to the Raising a Glass section of the show. So that being said, let's do the rounds here. Belle, what are you raising a glass to this week?
Well, I am going to raise a glass to. Before I started doing the show, I used to sew a lot, and I kind of got burnt out. I got quite burnt out for various reasons, and I stopped. I just completely stopped. And since moving to a new place, I've had, I don't know, a bit more time on my hands, a little space to set up my machine, and I've been sewing again. And instead of creating, like, I've made a couple of new things, but I've got a lot of projects that I hadn't finished, and I've just been working my way through those. So it's really satisfying to finally finish. Some of them are years old, half-finished projects, years. Yep. So yeah, the fact that I'm finally knocking them over and finishing them off, I'm very happy about that. So
yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to raise a glass to say,
raise a glass.
So good.
That is salute. Well done.
So good.
So good. There we go. On that note, Dave, keep the puns coming. What are you raising a glass to this week?
I'm going to raise a glass to my 10-year-old son, Rory.
Nice.
For over a year, possibly a bit more. I've been teaching him to play chess. He's been interested in this game. So it started out just teaching him how the pieces move on the board and like playing his game as well, like setting him up and showing him ideas.
Yeah.
Over the long weekend, he beat me with no prompting. He won. So he's learning and he's performing strategies. He's protecting his own pieces. So I'm like, if I take that, he's going to get me. He's really figured this thing out, and he beat me fair and square. So I'm proud.
Awesome.
Well done. Well done. That's awesome.
Maybe.
That's awesome, man. I'm actually cool. I can imagine that. So that's awesome. You must have been fucking proud in that moment too. Which is,
you got me. You got me. King goes over. I'm done. You got me.
He'd have fucking bounced around the room too. Like he'd have been happy as the proverbial.
Oh yeah, that's what he does. Like,
yeah.
The following day, I got him. And he was just.
Nice. It does. Yeah, it'll go back and forth, but at least you got the one, which is legit, which is awesome.
Yeah,
so definitely.
It's cool. It's at that stage where I can just like, okay, I can play him now.
Yeah, that's cool. Alrighty, nice. Jeff, over to you.
Yeah, look, I'm still on my holidays. I'm still enjoying them. I got nothing really new to say. I was kind of sad about the issue with Mastodon, and I was really happy that one of the guys that I follow on guitar for a long time, Ben Eller, I was like, holy shit, that's huge. Yeah. So I'm going to raise a glass to that. That's a pretty cool deal. Nice. I think that's cool.
Cool. Yeah, no, good with that. No, well, happily toast to that.
Yeah. So,
all right.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So last one goes to me. There's actually two personal notes here, but one is our son Zach is up here for a visit at the moment. He got up here just before the cyclone, so I was like, okay, he got here just in time to avoid a cyclone. But no, it was awesome, and it sort of didn't hit us as hard as we thought it might, so it ended up being pretty good at the end of the day, all things considered. But no, so just having our son, which is our first kid, actually visit us since we moved up here and been building this house, so it's a cool little first for us up here, which is one thing to raise a glass to. But the other one too, being it timely for this week, I know it's a bit late now, but at the same time, better late than never. It's that to the women who rock not only the world, but to us here at the show. So we have Jody, obviously behind the scenes. We have Belle every week on the show. And then we have Nikki in the past as well. So I want to raise a glass to the women that have rocked THRS, past, present, and future for that matter. And this goes out to all the ones that support us behind the scenes too. So people like Joel and Kat and Liz as well, and Nicole and that are well and truly into it as well. So a big Sonia is another one there in the long time category of that one as well. So just a big shout out to the women that rock and have something to do with us here at the show. We love and appreciate everything you do, all of you included. Every week for what you've done. I know Dave's out. I just keep putting my glass there and Dave's out. I'm out.
Symbolic. It's symbolic.
Symbolic.
Do a symbolic joke. All right, cool. All right, final comments. I'm going to get out of here. Michael says, like a spoiler alert, for those who follow, Richmond have come out of nowhere to beat Carlton. 82-69 being down 1-1 5-4 in the first quarter. Wow. Okay, that's a new one. Craig says, night all. Vinny says, a few glasses to raise. Glad to see everyone survive cyclone. Alf Stewart. Footy is back. And finally, a mate of mine landed his dream kick at his local zoo. He circumcises elephants. Poor pay, but the tips are huge.
Oh, my God.
There we go. Got together with the Cat says, thanks for the great show, guys. You're welcome. I'm just going to say go Tigers. Wow. Jody has just walked in, and I think she's going woot woot in the background as well. So Jody's Rowan's gone, very cool, Belle. I dig a bit of craft, which is nice. Guru says, cheers, Belle, maybe the Vivian Westwood of Australia. Wow, there we go.
Oh.
Cheers, Dave. Nothing beats making your own people, just cool. And cheers, you all from Guru as well.
I am gone.
Kat's gone. Thanks, Andrew. Cheers. And Jolie's going to love heart. Thank you to all of you guys. Congrats if your team won tonight, and good luck for the rest of the weekend otherwise. But that'll do us for now. We'll see you next week for a bye week where we go through them, update our Metal Mogul catalog and pick albums for the next season, the King of the Riff and all that sort of stuff. So like the first stream we did earlier this year, we'll still do the game and the Thin Lizzy stuff. So the regular parts will be here. We'll do the other stuff as well, just to sort of break it up.
Who's up for the game next week?
The game next week belongs to... I did have that here, didn't I? I thought I put it there. I will actually go through... Hang on, sorry, mate. I will pull it up on this tab. Next week, the game belongs to Jeff. Jeff has the game next week.
All right.
Cool.
So that's that. But yeah, like I was saying, that'll about do us for now. And we're pretty much going to finish bang on time for a fucking miracle. Look at that.
Yeah, wow. Hey,
Rowan's giving us the horns and everything else. So good to see you all. Thank you so much. Back again next week with another show, like I was saying. A bit different one next week, but still going to be some fun and some of the regular stuff as well. Catch it on TV as well if you want to. 10:30 p.m. Thursday night, Channel 44 in Adelaide local time, and 10:30 p.m. Saturday nights in Melbourne on Channel 31. You can watch those online and all the other stuff as well. But that will about do it. A big thank you again to Jeff on the other side of the screen, to Dave opposite corner, and Belle yet again for all of her work, not only appearing but also behind the scenes and putting up with my late nonsense and bugging her to get things done. So I appreciate the effort there. I know you told me not a pest, but sometimes I do feel like it, and I know that I can be. But that'll about do it.
Nothing's ever a problem.
It's all good. But anyway, thank you all so much. I'm Andrew. We'll see you all again, same time and place next week. As always, folks, you know what to do. As always, drink up, rock on.
Cheers.
Cheers.